Welcome to the Spark Learning session. Today we'll be talking about Twitter project. Here we'll try to get the streaming data from Twitter, which is now called X, and see how we can get it done. Now let's get started. The first step is to import the required libraries. What do you think the required libraries are for this project? Think about for a few seconds. We need tree.py, socket, and JSON. So let's do that. Let's do tree.py, import import string, and we also need to import a listener, string listener, and then we need to import socket, and we need to import JSON. These are three things that we need to import for this project. Now these are imported. We need to have some authentication mechanism for the X to give us the required information. For that we need a consumer key, and this is the consumer key we have. This is what our consumer key looks like. And then we need to write some classes here. We need to write a class called tweet listener that listens to the stream data. And we need to write some information that send out requests to the system or the X, that's called send data. So first we need to first we need a class called tweet listener. Let's create this class, tweets listener, called stream listener, and then we initialize it and say that okay, client self socket is equal to syssocket, and then on data we have second function called on data, that's called self data try, and we'll try to load the message JSON, and we message called text, and we say you encode it in the UTF. So we'll try to print that as well here. What we need to do is we need to print this, print a message and text. We'll print the text and it should be encoded in that. Encode UTF and self client will be send the message and encode. So we will just send this message instead of tweet. And then we'll return true, and for the error it will be exception and status will be same, and return true. We have to return true. So let's run this, and there's an error here. is that we will try that, we will do exception, and we have the error message. Okay, I know why is that, because there is some encoding issue here. We need to put this here, and hopefully it will work. Yeah, it works now. Now we need to create another function called send data. Just send data, socket, and it's going to be like this: application O handler, consumer key, and we'll pass information to get what we need. We need to track something called, let's say, news, and it can be anything. So let's do this. Let's run this, and finally, let's create a snippet to run this code, and it's going to be like this. Now it is running and listening at port 55. So let me quickly recap what we learned today. We imported TPy, socket, and JSON. We passed a consumer key. We defined consumer keys in secret, access token in secret, and then we created a class called twistlister, and using class we create a function called send data. And then what we did, can you tell me? We look at the we create a snippet that uses all the information we have created and actually use that to send the information and then listen to the information. That's all for today. I will see you next learning session. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.